So if you've been in the MMO market for a while, you know darn well that Guild Wars 2 has been here, but you haven't heard much about it recently, and you were curious to give it a try. You needed something to give you that push. Well, here you go. Here are the 7 reasons why right now is the best time to play Guild Wars 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and pique your interest first. Free legendary. Seriously, right now there is a free legendary that you can earn. So for those of you who don't know, legendary gear is interchangeable between all characters who can utilize that item. You can change the stats at free will, you can change the customization, you can change the appearance, you can change the runes, you can change the infusions. Everything that's about it is customizable and is free. Of course, getting legendary items is tedious and time consuming, but thanks to the Returning Champion Achievement series, you can get a Prismatic Regalia necklace that is available to all classes tied to your account once unlocked. To earn this, you must visit the old zones that you've already completed from the previous Living World series and do some events, gatherings, special one-time events in those particular zones to earn the Return to achievements. And on top of that, you get some seriously cool loot. While you are completing these achievements, you also get a legendary weapon component, some extra gold, weapon skins, a 32 slot bag, and then of course the legendary amulet once you complete it. What's even cooler about these legendaries is that they are stored on a special shelf that makes them available to every class, so you don't have to swap in between characters. You just open up the equipment tab and then put it on. It's that simple. Paired with that, whilst doing the return to achievements, you can actually earn your sky scale without any trouble whatsoever. Like right now is the best time to be farming for your sky scale. The collection for the sky scale components generally just require a lot of time and patience. You will need to have completed the Living World Season 4 story to start the process. But thanks to the aforementioned Return to achievements, you can work on it and it makes it significantly simpler. Towards the end of the collection process, you have to get your Sky Scale saddle, which requires a ton of map-specific currencies from each of the Living World Season 4 areas that you've already completed. Luckily, the third tier of the Returning to achievement for each of those specific mats gives you all the materials that you will need to satisfy that requirement. What used to take weeks of farming may now only take a few hours. The best thing about it is that if you have done Living World Season 4 already, you get a good portion of those Return to achievements already there. You may just need to fill in a couple of blanks. Your Sky Scale has just become incredibly simplified. What is your favorite reason to play Guild Wars 2 right now? Tell me down below. Speaking of simplified, the leveling process right now is a breeze. Now, this is also not to mean that it was strenuous before. It was actually fairly simple as well, but it's gotten even easier, and you can essentially get to max level in about 1/3 of the time that it used to take. And that is because of the Character Adventure Journal. Basically, you are given achievements for just doing the things that you were already doing. Applying conditions, dodge rolling, gathering, jumping, literally anything in the game gives you these achievements. These also follow you as you level to specific zones that can give you credit for completing them and granting huge chunks of experience. They can be found here in the achievement panel, and you can see the different tiers. If you didn't want to have to go through the whole process of leveling again on an alt, I swear it has never been easier to get to max level. So you did get to endgame and you really wanted to check out raiding because you heard it was awesome and a ton of fun, but you can't seem to get into a group because, well, you haven't done it before. Well, right now it is pretty awesome to raid because of the emboldened mode. On a weekly schedule, one of the wings will have this emboldened mode activated. If you've done looking for a raid in World of Warcraft, it works just the same way as their determination stacks. A specific wing of raiding will have the emboldened mode wherein each time the squad dies on a specific boss, they gain a stacking buff. And that buff improves their health, their damage, and their healing output until the boss is dead. After that, the kill stacks get reset and won't be reapplied until they wipe on the next boss. Essentially, this removes one extra barrier to raiding in Guild Wars 2, and one that many people who have not been interested in raiding now have that on their radar. So of course, one of the best reasons to play Guild Wars 2 is its mainstay in permanence with items, gear, and achievement. When you earn something in game, for the most part, it holds value forever. Like, you never need new gear. It never goes obsolete. When you earn something on one character, just about every other character tied to that account now has access to it. This means mounts. This means legendary gear. This means specific titles, achievements, everything. Oh, you haven't played in 2 expansions since Heart of Thorns? Well, guess what? Your gear is still as relevant as the day that you logged off. With horizontal progression, once you earn the top end gear, either ascended or legendary, you are set for the rest of your time playing that character. This may not strike the fancy of some MMO players, as this can be somewhat boring, not having to grind for gear every so often. But I counter that by saying this will allow you to take time off of the game, go enjoy other things or deal with real life issues, and come back to right where you were without missing a step. Life happens and it gets taxing, but Guild Wars 2 is always there, ready for you when you come back. If you're interested in learning more about Guild Wars 2, click the like and subscribe button, as I mainly do content around Guild Wars 2. Being in the MMO market where there are new games popping up everywhere, but of course the ones who have hung around for the longest have tons and tons of content behind them, many of which have no more play in that, meaning that the content had served its purpose and is now obsolete, maybe except for some achievements, perhaps skin unlocks, etc. But basically it is trivialized. Your character has outgrown it. That is not true here in Guild Wars 2. Seriously, every piece of content, from the level 5 starter zones to the entire Quarteria to the new expansions that have just come out, everything serves a purpose, and there is a reason to do every piece of content. Once you reach endgame, that's where the real game picks up. Whether it's legendary collections, mastery farming, mount unlocks, every single zone is completely relevant, which really draws the attention of a lot of players in the MMO market, as that content is not wasted. You get to go and play all of these different great areas that have these really great specific events, a lot of the endgame ones having map specific events, and never feeling like you're missing out. There is always a reason to do something in a specific zone, even if it's the starter zone. So the biggest news, and this is something that I feel is one of the best reasons to play Guild Wars 2 right now, is the updated content release schedule. Previously, Guild Wars 2 has been known for its slow content rollout. Like Path of Fire took 4 whole years to get to End of Dragons, albeit there were 2 Living World seasons in between, but nevertheless, they are now aiming for smaller expansions, featuring new zones, new strike missions, new storylines, in a more frequent manner. Matter of fact, the newest piece of content after End of Dragons expansion just came out this week. So there it is. ArenaNet has also hinted at some character changes potentially going into 2 separate ways with their weapons. Either we're getting a new weapon to use, which is one of my popular theories, or they are unrestricting weapons across all the classes. So that, for example, means that my core Elementalist could potentially now wield the hammer like a catalyst. This is speculation, but overall it could be amazing. The idea that a lot of people should be excited about is the fact that Guild Wars 2 has now committed to a more frequent content schedule rollout. And this means more excitement about the game. This means there is more stories that are going to be happening and less, ideally, content drought. But I, for one, am excited. Technically, I could go on, but these are the best reasons of why right now is the perfect time to play Guild Wars 2. If you want to learn what you should do when you first hit max level, you should click this video here. Stay caffeinated, folks.